Hello guys, today I'm going to talk about Enhancement Shaman PvP talent build for TBC. So this build is basically the best in any PvP situation for Enhancement Shaman, like all PvP, Battlegrounds, and of course Arena. Gonna explain why I'm choosing some talents over the others, so it's not gonna be just like choose this because no reason. I'm gonna give explanations for all the choices I make. So let's get to it. So let's start with the talents, and even in the first year some of you might get surprised because I've seen a lot of people choosing otherwise. But we are going with field specialization. Let me explain this. Ancestral knowledge will give you as enhancement around 300 mana at level 70. It's not a lot at all. Gonna get not even one shock from that, so. And shield you're gonna be using a lot, and this talent does help. Trust me, it does help. Okay, and to the next tier we must get thundering strikes, because critical is very nice for enhancement. It makes it enables a lot of things like shamanistic focus right here, that saves a lot of mana. Also Ghost Wolf is a must-have, makes it instant cast. You can catch up your target much faster, and yeah, you're not gonna get kited as much, so obviously that is very good. And now we have like 2 more talent points to spend until we can get into flurry and all that good stuff. And there are some talents that like seem good, like anticipation, dodge. Improved lightning shield might seem okay, but it's not, because you're gonna be using water shield most of the time. The best talent though is guardian totems for PvP, of course. Even though stone skin totem and wind wall totem will not be used a lot, but it's still kinda useful. Grounding totem 2-second cooldown though is why we are getting it mainly. From 15-second down to 13-second cooldown. Okay, and next we go flurry, of course, because yeah, it's just so good. It increases your attack speed by 13% after getting a critical strike. Another reason why critical strike is very important in Enhancement Shaman. So you're just gonna get that. You get spirit weapons, allows you to parry and reduces threat, which is irrelevant for PvP, but it be needed anyways because you're gonna need dual wield, and parry is nice. So elemental weapons is a must, increases your wind fury damage and other weapon enhancements damage, including Frostbrand weapon, which you're gonna be using your offhand in PvP. And then we need one more talent point till we can go further. But you're gonna spend all 5 on toughness. It's a must get as well. Even though the 10% armor is not that big, the main reason is why we're getting this is because it reduces movement slow effects on you by 50%, which is a lot. Like, you're gonna get days slow, like whatever, it lasts half the time. It's very good. Like this talent and Ghost Wolf being instant on TBC is the main difference why you can even play PvP as enhancement properly. Like, I know some people like we are playing enhancement in classic for PvP, but I mean everyone and your mom can kite you there. It's like in classic, enhancement is even more kiteable than a warrior, and these 2 talents make it like way different in TBC. Okay, anyway, so to move on, 5 in weapon mastery increases your damage with all weapons, obvious choice to get. Dual wield, storm strike, of course, which is changed in a way that instantly attack with both weapons. So you don't not only attack with one weapon, but with both, because in classic you couldn't even dual wield. So Then we're gonna get Unleashed Rage. So it buffs you and your party attack power after getting a critical strike again. See, everything is after critical strike. If you crit, you're gonna pump damage. Thing is, like, even if you're not playing with another class that benefits from this, it's worth it for yourself alone. And of course, Shamanistic Rage. And let me talk a bit about Shamanistic Rage, even though it's a video about talent build. There is two sides of the talent, right? So it reduces damage taken by 30% for 15 seconds. So it's very good defensive, only 2-minute cooldown. Well, of course, then rogues have like cloak on 1 minute, which is bullshit, but yeah. And it also regenerates mana after you successfully hit your target with melee attacks. So sometimes you wanna use it for mana regeneration, but sometimes you gotta save it as defensive. So it's sometimes very hard to choose what you wanna do. Like, for example, but when you pop it, make sure you're hitting something if possible, even if you play it as defensive. And to move on, okay, so most of the people do this, right? We get 3 points here, 2 here, because we have to save 14 for the rest to 3. Okay, don't do that. Actually do this. Mental quickness is more important. Like, the mana cost of instant cast spells by 6% is not that important or huge. It helps a lot, but the main thing is that it increases your spell damage by 30% of your attack power. So, and as enhancement, you might think you're melee, right? Why do you need this now? Half of your damage is like spell damage. Your melee damage usually is like in arenas like 40% or something. In PvE it's a little bit more. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit more, but it's still like 45-50%. So just get this, and I'm gonna explain now why. Like 30% of your attack power is like, if you have, let's say 1500 attack power, right? Which for PvP it's gonna be like season 2, season 3 range. It means that this talent increases your spell power by 450 at all times. It's gonna increase your shock damage by so much. And one talent point, just 1 point, gives you 150. Of course, if you have 1500 attack power. And this is not a must in PvP, because all the PvP gear already has hit rating, right? Also, you're not gonna be using dual wield at all times, especially if you're like fighting a rogue. Like, funny thing is that if you're fighting a rogue, the dual wield, you're gonna miss a rogue a lot, so this talent would be useful. But if you're fighting a rogue, you're not gonna be using dual wield most of the time, so it's not that good or useful. 2 points is basically enough to hit the targets you wanna hit anyways with dual wield, so just leave it here. Okay, let's move to the rest of 3. Like, we're not gonna be casting healing waves, like almost at all, and if you have time to cast it, that probably means you have time to cast it, right? So you're gonna reduce mana cost by healing spells, which is gonna be mostly laser healing waves in PvP. And next year, like, reduce mana cost of your totem by 25%. You're gonna save a lot of mana. You're gonna be using totems a lot, even spamming sometimes, like when a priest tries to get a fear on you, and you gotta keep replacing Tremor Totem. Yeah, just get this talent. Like, this armor is like okay, but you not gonna be healing like almost ever as enhancement. And then we move to Totemic Mastery. This tier is the reason why we are going into the rest at all. So Totemic Mastery increases the range of your totems to 30 yards, like friendly totems only. So this is like really helpful. You're gonna be kited a lot, you're gonna be running around a lot, and a lot of the times the totems will be out of range, and this talent helps a lot. And one thing it doesn't tell, it's the same in Classic and TBC, that Tremor Totem by default is 30 yards range, so it seems like this talent shouldn't give it anything to it. But for some reason, when you spend this talent point, your Tremor Totem becomes 40 yards range. And it's not a bug, it's intended, but it's like really weird, because it was all the time like this. Back in Classic, back in TBC, in private servers as well, and now in Classic as well. So yeah, it makes your Tremor 40 yard range, which is also really good. And then Nature's Guidance, 3 points in this, of course, to finish it off. Now this talent point, these 3 talent points gets you spell hit capped, and it also increases your melee hit rating by 3%, which is also helpful. And it's not only dual wield. This talent is dual wield only, right? And this is not. This is for both dual wield and whatever, for everything, spells. So with this talent, you need no spell hit rating from gear at all. That's why it's very important. And the last thing, if you're Draenei, right, you are getting 1 spell hit to you and your party. So this gets you over the cap, right? So you might want to do this as a Draenei only though. You're gonna still be spell hit capped and gonna have 1% more hit rating while dual wielding. And when you're like with shield and one-hander, you're not gonna miss a lot at all anyways. All the Shaman gear PvP one is with the hit rating, like a lot of it even. I would swap out a lot of that hit rating if I could to something else. And even in PvE as enhancement, you don't even ever gem hit rating or whatever, because a lot of the gear has hit rating, and because of these talents. So yeah, but basically the main build is this. You can even go this as Draenei, it's basically the same, but maybe you want to go this as Draenei. That's fine, because you're still spell hit capped. Yeah, so this is the build. Hope it helped to explain. Yeah, this is the main thing, is like the main differences I see is like this talent, the first tier, right? And like right here for PvP. So yeah, but for sure shield specialization is much more useful than ancestral knowledge. Yeah, sometimes you're not gonna be using shield at all if you're like fighting a few casters, caster cleave, whatever. But like 300 mana not gonna change it anyways. So yeah, that's the build. I hope you liked the video. Please feel free to comment or ask questions.